Welcome back to Armored Warfare. As you may know if you play Armored Warfare, today saw the release of one of the most anticipated features in the game, the active camouflage system. Now, this M113 starter tank Tier 1 is looking a little drab in his military olive, and now, if you would like, you can upgrade it to something a little more snazzy. Previously, you were already able to apply decals like this beta tester decal or this 2016 decal, which you got from the winter events. But now you can also change the color and the camo pattern. Of course, this only applies to the standard vehicles, not to the Mercenary and Ice Edition vehicles, which are already equipped with a custom camo pattern, as well as the Type 59 and the T62 Veteran, who are also outfitted with their own non-standard camouflage. The M113 is going to be our canvas because it has this nice flat surface here, where you can really see the camo pattern and color in action. And I'm going to also show you some of the other tanks, how they look with the camos and colors applied. Now, you can get there by just clicking the spray paint icon next to your commander, as you can with decals. You switch over to camo, and there you are. You have 6 new slots here, 3 for the base paints, 3 for the camo patterns. The base paints are freely available as soon as you have played sufficiently many missions on the map terrain for which you would like to apply the paint. So you have woodland, desert, and snow-based colors. You have 3 for snow, 6 for woodlands, and 3 for desert. You just get these for free for playing enough games, and these are applied retroactively as soon as you have played at least 1 game after the release of the patch. So if you've been an Armored Warfare player for a long time and you are wondering why they are still locked, just play 1 game, whether you win or lose, and you will unlock them immediately. Now, for desert, you can choose between this striking mustard yellow, which is not very stealthy, but definitely makes you stand out on any battlefield. This sort of little more creamy beige, still not close to the color of sand really, but quite pretty, and this more muted, less saturated yellow, which I have used on every single one of my tanks for the desert paint, because it just looks the most like sand. It would be the one I would use if I had to drive an armored vehicle through a combat zone in the desert. Like I said, all of these are completely free. You don't have to make a permanent choice. If you would like to go signal yellow for a while, you absolutely can, and then change back to this without any cost whatsoever. For woodlands, you have different shades of gray-green. I've used this one on all of my tanks. I just think it looks the most woodsy. But of course, if you'd like, you can go for something a little more creamy gray, which is quite close to the base color of many of the tanks. There's this creamy light green with something a little more in the blue range, and these 2 darker colors. This one's also quite pretty, probably something well suited for Perseus, for example. And there's the last one. Like I said, I'm going to use all of these on all of my tanks. And for snow maps, you can go for the dark gray, which is more like an urban color, I would say. But of course, the snow maps do tend to be in cities, so that works out fine. You have this almost pure white, which is pretty much the base color for the Ice Edition tanks as well. And of course, you have the slightly off-color white. Probably the closest to real snow, once a couple of tanks have driven over it. But I've used the dark gray on all of my vehicles because I like dark. And in the end, you just hit apply, and your tank will automatically switch to the paint scheme which is associated with the map you are going to play next. Then there are these 3 slots for camouflage. The camo patterns are also divided into the 3 areas for woodlands, desert and snow, and these are not free. You have to pay for these. So if you want to put one in each of these, it's going to cost you 3 times the base price. Down here on tier 1, the base price is 25 gold, and for each tier you move upwards, it's going to increase by another 25. So here on this tier 2 vehicle, it's 50. If you switch over to a tier 3 vehicle, 75, and so on and so on. And this stays consistent until at least tier 8. I haven't got any tier 9 tanks on which to try it out. If you don't want to spend your real money, if you don't want to use gold, you can use in-game currency credits to either rent the scheme for 20,000 on tier 1, which will increase by 20,000 for each tier up to tier 5. So let's switch over to something of tier 5. Tier 5, there we are, 100,000. But from then on, it's not a straight progression as it was on the gold price. No, from here on, the next step on tier 6 is 40,000 additional gold. On tier 7, another 40,000. Tier 8, another 40,000. So each tier increases the pricing tier by 2 steps. On the 30-day trials, the price follows the same pattern. So 40,000 for tier 1, 80,000 for tier 2, and so on. So these rentals are really not worth it. Not in any case that I can see, unless you're going to be taking part in some kind of special clan event or whatever and want to look good for just a week. Otherwise, I see no reason why you would ever want to use this. And you can also purchase the camo patterns permanently for all of your vehicles with in-game credits. No need to spend even a single cent. On tier 1, these will cost you 200,000 credits, which for tier 1, if you are at tier 1 maximum, is a lot. My goodness, I couldn't imagine ever earning this much just in a tier 1 vehicle. In a tier 2 vehicle, it goes up by 200,000, in a tier 1, tier 3 it goes up by 200,000, and so on. Once again up to tier 5, where it will change drastically. Let's see, there we are, tier 5 Begleitpanzer 57. 1 million credits, which is not exactly a bargain price, but once you switch over to tier 6, the price doubles. So from 1 million to 2 million, if you go to tier 7, it'll be 3 million, if you go to tier 8, 4 million credits, just to buy this one camo pattern, of which you need 3 to have a camo pattern applied on all 3 terrain types. This staggering price range does not occur on the gold prices. Tier 8 costs 200 gold, Tier 7 175, Tier 6, sorry, should have used a vehicle where I can apply them, Tier 6 150 gold, so it's just 25 gold for permanent camo per tier. So if you do have any credits, if you do have any gold over, you would want to use your gold for the high tier vehicles where the credit price is exorbitantly high, and use credit purchases for the lower tier vehicles of tier 5 and lower, because they are priced to efficient. Cost benefit, that's the one, where your cost benefit ratio is much better. Okay, and why would you want camo anyway, except for making it look good? These camouflage patterns increase your camo factor by 3% or 0.03. That's all. I think maybe in the history of armored warfare, maybe 2 people would have been saved by 3% better camouflage rating. Otherwise, I don't think it's very useful at all. Perhaps more so in PvP than in PvE. I haven't played enough PvP to be able to tell, but in PvE, don't get it unless you like the look of it. Alright, let's try them out. Let's do the desert camos first. This one is sort of a black-red digital camo. You have the olive and gray digital camo. me apply that. There we are. And sort of a multicolor digital camo. And if you go down, you have different kinds of camo for each of these terrain types. So in the desert you also have these crystal type structures with the same basic color ideas as you saw above, and you have these tiger stripe patterns. These are the same for all of the tanks you own. There are no variations for higher tiers or whatever, and these are available on all of the terrain types, so you have the same digital camo, crystal camo, tiger stripe pattern on the city maps, the woodland maps, and the desert maps. So whatever you like, you can choose it, buy it permanently, rent it for a while. It's all good. Like I said though, the benefit is minimal. You decide if it's worth it to you. But do get a paint job, because you can finally express yourself a little more with these tanks than you could with the decals, and it doesn't cost a single cent. And that's all I have to say about the camo patterns and paint schemes. The patch today brought a couple of other changes, mainly balancing issues that were addressed. They changed how the crew skills and retrofits interact with each other, so that you can no longer get something ridiculous like 2-second artillery reloads. They changed how the consumables, the protein bar and energy drink interact with each other. Basically all of your tanks are going to notice a small drop in power, but since it's the same drop as the other tanks get on the enemy team, on the AI team, shouldn't really bother you too much. And now you can go into the field looking however you would like. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.